Sports Entertainment is recorded live at twitch.tv/baldyandthebeast. Join us every Tuesday and Thursday at 9 p.m. Eastern Time and watch the matches right along with us.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Bront.
I'm Willem.
And we are Baldy and the Beast. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Sports Entertained.
Yes.
And the end of February.
Yes, the final match for this month.
And what are we doing?
Sorry, I had to mess with my headphones, and I kind of I saw myself in the reflection in the capture, and it was like way goofier than I thought it was going to be. Anyway, today we are watching Charlotte versus Asuka from WrestleMania 34.
Woo!
Good match.
Not to spoil what I'm going to say later, but I wouldn't have had the same winner, but good match.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like you said, it was WrestleMania 34, which took place on April the 8th of 2018.
Yes.
In front of 78,133 people.
Yep.
So this match all started at the Royal Rumble, where Asuka, who was in her undefeated days still, won the Royal Rumble match, granting her a title match at WrestleMania. Asuka chose to delay her decision, and on the advice of Stephanie McMahon, until the champions defended at Elimination Chamber and Fastlane, so she knew who was going to have the title going into Mania. So following Charlotte's Fastlane victory over Ruby Riott, where I was, and longtime friend of the channel Walter was, we were there in that crowd when Asuka came out.
You got a chair from that show.
No, I got a chair from the show the next year.
Oh, whatever.
But, yeah, I was close. I was like 2 rows away from a chair that year.
Same sentiment.
Yeah. But anyways, Asuka came out. We all popped super hard. I don't remember much from that, but I remember popping red hot and being like, this is what marking out is afterwards.
Did you get you a couple drinks you do's?
What?
Did you get you a couple 2-3 drinks you do's?
No, I had to drive.
Oh.
No
you
drinks.
just don't remember much.
No, it was just because the pop was so... it was just from that short time, because it was... I marked out so hard. It was just I just remember happiness.
Right.
So I don't remember anything I remember oh my god, I probably said fuck in front of the 5-year-old that was sitting in front of me. But anyways, off of that little rabbit hole, Asuka did come out and she challenged Charlotte. Oh, and I wrote in my notes, and we lost our fucking minds. Asuka said that she challenged Flair because she wanted to challenge the best, and Charlotte vowed to end Asuka's undefeated streak.
Yep.
That is kind of how the match built up. And going into this, I remember being pretty hot, thinking there is no way that this is bad. And I remember being wrong and thinking there's no way Asuka loses now.
Yeah, I remember being super pumped about this Mania. And then, aside from, a couple things here and there, I don't want to say I was disappointed about this Mania, but there were a lot of things, here that didn't quite go the way that I figured they would go. But we can go through that when we run down the card. Yeah, we can't do that when we run down the card. You like that segue that you weren't prepared for?
I was not prepared for it.
You don't even got it up, do you?
No, I remembered before the show, 2 minutes of I should do that now. And I don't remember what ADHD thing I did instead, but it was certainly something. Okay. So we start off with 3 matches on the pre-show, which the opener was... It was probably a 2-hour pre-show because there's 3 matches and it's WrestleMania.
Yeah, that's usually how that goes.
Oh, so long. But anyways, it's like a pay-per-view in itself. It's it's ridiculous.
No, thank you.
But Matt Hardy won. This is the year he won by last eliminating Baron Corbin. I think he was back at Broken Matt at that point, and we were all thinking maybe he was gonna get Woken Matt.
Woken Matt. He was Woken Matt Hardy.
We're thinking he was gonna get a push, and then he didn't.
Yeah.
In the next one, we have the tournament final for the vacant WWE Cruiserweight Championship, which was Cedric Alexander defeating Mustafa Ali. This was the Heart Soul match. They hit each other and yelled Heart, and then they don't hit him and yelled Soul.
Oh, that was a thing?
Yeah.
Ew.
That's how I remember. I'm almost positive that's a thing.
Okay.
Next up, I don't want to be wrong now, but I put money on it. We'll put it that way. What were you gonna say?
I figure that I want to figure that's something that the crowd would do, but I would not be surprised at all if like Vince was like, "All right, Kevin Dunn, I'm gonna need you to pipe in heart, soul on the chops."
No, the wrestlers yelled it.
Are you serious?
Yeah, like the rest, like Mustafa would hit Cedric and go heart, and then Cedric came back and go soul. I forget which one was the heart and which one was the soul. It was because they were the heart and soul of Cruiserweight Division 205 Live.
Like I get it, but that's kind of dog shit.
We can double check this after the show, and if I'm wrong, Willem will put a big shame cam during this whole segment.
That's not how the editing works.
Well, fine. Willem will put shame under my name during this whole segment.
If I remember to.
Editing magic.
Editing magic, if he remembers to, Sunday after he does the pay-per-view.
Yeah, it's probably not. I wouldn't remember that for goddamn sure. I'd forget. Anyways, because this is a long card, so let's go ahead and get down it.
Yep.
We have the 20-woman WrestleMania Women's Battle Royal, which was the Mae Young, or no, not the Mae Young, the Fabulous Moolah. Yeah. And then everyone was like, no, that's terrible. She did bad things. So then they just made it the Women's Battle Royal, and the champion and the trophy looked like a uterus.
Yeah, I was going to bring up that, they had Bad Woman who was going to be it. Well, she's not there anymore. How are we going to know this is the women's trophy? Make it look like a uterus.
Terrible. Like, even if they did it on accident, when it got there, you knew.
Right.
Okay? Because we all knew the second we saw it, and you figure anything else out. We've decided this is now a number one contender match for a title. Don't ask questions. Yeah.
Yeah.
But, moving on.
Regardless.
Like, just right before I went down that rabbit hole, I was like, we shouldn't go down any more rabbit holes. Now I'm going to go directly down this rabbit hole.
And then we're going to go on each match, we're going to fall down a rabbit hole.
Probably. In the opener, it was Rollins defeating The Miz and Finn Balor for the Intercontinental title in a triple threat. And then our match, surprisingly, Charlotte Flair and Asuka was the second match. I did not remember it being this early, but it was early on the card.
Yep.
Next up, we have a Fatal 4 match for the WWE United States title, which pits Jinder Mahal against Randy Orton, Bobby Roode, and Rusev. Jinder Mahal picking up the W over Rusev, and this was during the Rusev Day stuff, and everyone was pissed because Rusev had just tried to quit before this, and they brought him back by putting him in the match, and they're like, "But you're gonna take the pin." Fuck off.
Yeah.
How do you really feel about it, Brandon? Next up, we have actually what might have ended up being the best match on the card, at least arguably, the intergender tag team match with Kurt Angle and Ronda Rousey defeating Triple H and Stephanie McMahon. Way better than it had any right to be.
Oh, yeah, it was pretty good.
Way better than it had any right to be.
Yep.
Considering it was Ronda's, first real match. Mm-hmm. Steph doesn't wrestle often. And Triple H and Kurt are both part-timers. It was surprising.
Pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah. Next up, we had the triple threat tag team match for the SmackDown titles, which pitted the Bludgeon Brothers against the Usos and the New Day, with Harper and Rowan picking up the W. Next up, we had the squash match on the... What?
Nothing. Go ahead.
Next up, we had the squash match on the night with The Undertaker defeating John Cena. This was the year where they were like, is Cena and Taker going to have a match? We don't know. Tune into WrestleMania, literally, to find out.
Because that's how you advertise a card.
At the end of the Charlotte match, they kind of took the piss out of everything because somebody walked out and talked to John, and then John ran to the back like Taker was there, and it was like literally as the winner is making their way up the ramp.
Yeah.
Oh, terrible. Oh, it made me so mad, and it still does. Next up, the match I never thought I would see. Daniel Bryan's return match. Daniel Bryan teamed up with Shane McMahon to defeat Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. Really, it should have been his return match. Should have been The Miz.
Should have been The Miz. 100%.
Because of all of the bullshit they talked on Talking Smack, should have been The Miz.
Yeah. The better way to do it would have been like if at the Rumble The Miz came out to Daniel Bryan's music. But Daniel Bryan like wasn't in the Rumble.
That would have been fucking great.
Yeah.
But they didn't know he was going to come back at that point, I don't think.
No, not really.
Next up, this is late in the card. Nia Jax defeating Alexa Bliss. This was during the bullying angle, I think. Where Nia was the face-ish. And then that didn't last long. That was followed up by Dick Kick City as AJ Styles defeated Shinsuke Nakamura for the WWE Championship.
And then Shinsuke turned heel by smacking AJ in the dick.
And they did that for 4 straight months.
Yep.
Next up, we had Cesaro and Sheamus, The Bar, putting their Raw Tag Team titles on the line versus Braun Strowman and a child. And Braun Strowman and the child won, which I get it.
Yeah.
It puts over Braun really, really hard. Like, he essentially won a handicap match against your tag team championships. That being said, it buries your fucking tag team division, and you have a mystery person on WrestleMania, and you didn't debut anybody?
Right, it's Nicholas.
Braun could have picked anybody from NXT. There were rumors Ray was coming back about this time.
Yeah.
Because I remember thinking it was going to be Ray. Like, you could have done something cool. You could have had, I don't know, Stone Cold come back for a night, get a huge ass pop, and then let the match be exactly the same way it was. Because Nicholas didn't even get into the ring anyways.
No, but I did see, like, recently, like, wouldn't it be cool if in, like, 10 years we see, like, a debut match that's going to be Brody Jr. versus Nicholas on Dynamite?
That'd be great.
In 10 years.
And,
we got some time to kill.
It's a triple threat because at this point, intergender stuff is not terrible anymore, and we could do it with the Bailey girl. Let her get in there too.
Oh, no. Better idea.
Everybody gets a push.
Better idea. It's Brody Jr. and Nicholas versus King Maxwell and Wolfgang.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, age-wise, it won't work out.
Age-wise, it won't work out.
Wolfgang are going to have to, like, debut when they're 12. Yeah. But I'm okay with that. Book it. Book it, TK. And then, because we need to get into the match.
Yeah, we need to get going.
The main event was one where we all knew who was going to win going in. And we were all wrong. Brock Roman.
Yeah, we all figured Roman was going to come out of this with the title, and Brock still retained.
Yeah. Well, at this point, the rumor was that Brock's contract was up.
Yeah, and he was going to go back to UFC.
And it never happened.
Nah. And then, like, they did literally the same, the same spot that they did with Randy, except they were like, "Oh, we're going to do it again." And, like, again, he legit busted open, like, caved in Roman's skull.
Yes. They need to stop doing that fucking spot.
Yeah, it was bad.
Or learn how to actually do that fucking spot. There's 2 options.
Yeah. So I'm going to go ahead and find the match. We're going to start the countdown because running down the card took forever because it's a 5-hour card.
Yeah. And, like, I like to, when we run down cards, if I remember something, I like to hit points. And yeah. The more recent we get, the better my memory is going to be, obviously. So I remember this WrestleMania pretty clearly.
Which one are we starting at? Are we starting at the Queen arrives at WrestleMania 34 or the actual one, Asuka versus Charlotte women's title?
Let me see what I picked. 1 second. I picked Asuka Charlotte. I didn't want to watch
the entrance for, yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So we're going to go ahead and start this on the tag titled Asuka versus Charlotte for the SmackDown Women's title. If you're looking at this on the timeline, this match starts at 37 minutes and 10 seconds. Going to go ahead and count that down from 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Click. And Asuka taps. That is it. It's kind of an out of nowhere finish, isn't it?
Yeah, and go ahead.
I kind of wonder if they were running long on time, so they were just like, all right, Charlotte, just go home.
years later, I look at this and I'm like, Asuka should have won this match.
Asuka 100% should have won this match.
You could have grown the streak by having her beat Asuka or beat Charlotte at Mania.
Oh yeah, someone's bleeding somewhere because Charlotte's got some blood like on her leg and on her wrist and on her belly.
I get Charlotte.
Oh,
but that was a good match.
what a good match!
These two are 100% capable of. 100 times out of 100, they're going to give you a good match.
Yeah. So I didn't think of anything for like a hot tag. Just like, so what is your hot tag for this match?
Man, I hate for it to be wrong person goes over because I don't want to.
Wrong person went over.
Ding dong, the streak is dead. Which old streak? Asuka's streak. We know the streak is dead.
Mine's gonna be solid Mania match.
Yeah.
What are you giving it out of 5?
4.
4? Give it a good 4.
4. Yeah.
I'm gonna give it 3 3/4, simply because it was a fun match to watch, but there was like no psychology to it. It was just kind of like they hit move after move on each other, and then were upset when people kicked out.
Yeah, you're not totally wrong.
Like there was kind of a story where Asuka was working Charlotte's arm, but it didn't it only came up a couple times when they remembered, oh yeah, your arm is hurt.
Yeah.
Because that didn't really factor into the fact that Charlotte just like, oh yeah, I'm gonna hit a Spanish fly. It was more of a showcase of the moves that they can do, and less of like a solid story being told over the course of the match.
Yeah.
But it was entertaining nonetheless. It's a passable match for Mania, especially second match on the card. So you wouldn't expect like a barn burner of a match to be match number 2. You usually want to see something like that as like the curtain jerker or something in the middle of the card to wake up the crowd. Or as the main event to send them home happy. So for where it was at on the card, it's good enough.
I almost would have preferred this in the curtain jerker position.
Yeah, it sucks to say like to have the women's title as the curtain jerker match, but for something like I feel like if they had it as the curtain jerker match, they probably could have had more. I don't want to say more material to work with, but more. They probably could have put more psychology into the actual match.
Yeah.
But I don't know. They worked the match they could. I don't know who produced the match or if they called it on the fly. I doubt they called it on the fly.
No.
But yeah.
Not in the dub.
No.
I don't know. I'm one of those people. I kind of think the curtain jerker is one of the bigger matches usually. They usually try and start the crowd off hot. Like, I don't see being the first people out as a negative thing.
Oh, no. Like, being the first people out, like, that's them. That's the guys in the back saying, all right, we know you guys can go out and put on a fire match to get this crowd fired up and get this show going. So we're going to send you out here to do a great match. Yep. That's at least how I view it.
That exactly the same way. Yep.
Oh, so do you have anything else you want to talk about today? We're running a little short on the show. I started the stream a little bit late because I had to get dinner and stuff. So we're running we've got about 38 minutes into the show, so we got probably about 10-15 minutes we can kill.
Because
I feel like that match went just a smidge short.
We could talk about AEW.
Okay. Go ahead and talk about AEW because I only caught like what you were telling me about last night because I had to get on my computer because Connor was helping me finish my Shadowrun character.
Hold on, let me try and find good results.
Okay. Well, while you're doing that, I'm going to go ahead and plug the next thing that we're going to be doing, which at some point in the next month over on the weekends, we are going to be doing a Pokedex completion challenge between me and Brunt and possibly one of our my friend. I don't know how much of a mutual friend he is with Brunt, but he's an acquaintance of Brunt.
I've met him all time.
You met him all time, and he kissed your girlfriend.
She's gonna be so pissed you said that on stream.
I don't give a shit. I don't gotta live with her.
She's gonna be pissed at me. I ain't saying shit.
Yeah, I know.
I ain't saying shit.
Anyway, so yeah, we're gonna be doing a Pokedex race in Pokemon Heart Gold or Soul Silver, depending on which one we decide to go. And it's gonna be the first person to complete the Pokedex and beat the Elite Four wins the race.
We should probably have one person do the opposite one. That way, can access all the Pokemans.
Yeah, that way we've got one person that can do like version exclusives. I don't know how many version exclusives there are in like the Gen 2 remakes though. Either way.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
We probably should have somebody do it just in case. There are going to be times in the run where it's going to be necessary for us to trade something simply because certain Pokemon evolve through trades. So that will be happening at some point in the month of March. Still have to work on dates and times because it's 3 people we have to coordinate getting together for a stream.
Yeah, and we're only used to 2, so that's like a whole extra person.
It's a whole extra one person for hours more of stream time, because it's potentially going to be like 3-4 hour streams at once.
Yeah. Oh, I figured at least.
Yeah.
But let's go ahead and get into that AEW card because I want to get to what happened after the main event. Because God damn, am I excited! So we opened up the show real hot with Hangman teaming with Matt Hardy to defeat TH2. God, I'm getting real good at running down cards because of this show. So after the match here, Adam, they kind of revealed that like Adam had fiddled with the contract, which we all saw the week before on Dynamite. But what they revealed what Hangman did to the contract, which was the contract that Matt signed was not to be Hangman's manager and get 30% of his monies, but it was for a match at the next pay-per-view. And the match, if Hangman wins, was in the contract, was if Hangman won, he gets all of the money Matt makes for the first quarter of 2021. But then Matt got Hangman.
Who was the match against? Was it just Matt versus Hangman, or is it Hangman versus a person?
Matt versus Hangman.
Okay.
And so now it's the Hangman called it the money match, and it's going to be Hangman versus Matt, and the winner gets the loser's earnings from the first quarter. So I hope none of them invested in GameStop, or else they're going to owe the other person a lot of money.
Yeah. So
next up.
So what? Matt Hardy's 100% winning that match, and then Hangman's just going to be super duper distraught and go join the Dark Order. Correct?
I kind of thought the other way around. I think Hangman's going to win. And, so now Matt's going to have to deal with the fact that not only is he losing 100% of his money, he's losing 30% of Private Party's money. And Private Party's not going to be very happy about that.
No, what I was thinking was that Matt Hardy's going to win the match with the help of Private Party so that he doesn't have to worry about losing all that money, and then Hangman's going to be super duper sad, and he's going to have nowhere to go because not only does he not have any friends, he don't have any money, so he's going to join the Dark Order.
Well, which is possible because even after that little promo, Matt said something really funny, and he goes, TH2, I'll give you $3,700 to beat up Hangman right now. So Private Party and TH2 worked together to beat up Hangman, and they were actually saved by Dark Order.
Well, there you go.
So that could 100% be what they're building to. Riho, in the next match, we have the American return of Riho. She's been gone 11 months, literally since the start of the pandemic. She is just now getting back from Japan to compete in the U.S. side of the tournament and not the Japanese side, which is just really weird timing.
Yeah, that's really weird.
I don't know what happened, but I wonder if maybe she wasn't already cleared to come back. And then they announced it, and they were like, well, fuck. Well, you're already coming back. Just come back.
Yeah.
But next up, we have Orange Cassidy defeating Luther. I thought that Miro and Kip were going to get involved with this, and they didn't. Next up, we have the Young Bucks defeating Proud and Powerful to retain the titles. I was a little let down of this. I kind of wanted Proud and Powerful to win, but...
Yeah.
Let's see the story they're going to tell. They really haven't let me down so far. And it was a good match. The next up, we have FTR defeating Matt Sydal and his brother Mike. And after the match, So Luchasaurus returned. They did this by showing like a thing on the screen of a new, like it was like a mask. And it was like, oh my god, Luchasaurus has got a new mask, and it looks exactly the fucking same. The horns might be different. And I was like,
he's a different dinosaur now.
that's cool, but if you're gonna get a new mask, then like get a new mask, like get something new.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion because I'm cheap, and if I'm gonna spend money, I'm gonna get something new.
If you're gonna be a different dinosaur, be a very different dinosaur. Go from whatever Luchasaurus was to like a pterodactyl or something.
Luchadactyl.
Luchadactyl. How do you put Lucha into Plesiosaurus?
Luchasaurus.
That's not much different from Luchasaurus.
I added an E.
Solid point. Continue your rundown.
Also in the card, Brandy came out and they announced that Cody and Brandy are having a baby girl.
Hey.
And then Cody did commentary for the FTR match. They literally he just came out to do commentary in my eyes, essentially to do a gender reveal, which he's an EVP, so I don't hate it.
Right.
Like,
hey, you know what? At least the gender reveal they didn't start a wildfire.
Yes. That is a great point.
So there's your positive, there's your silver lining on Cody Rhodes coming out to pretty much just go on to commentary and oh hey, there's a gender reveal.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah.
But you're right, that's a great way to look at it. 0% wildfires were started from the making of this baby reveal.
Yep.
And then we have the main event, which was
specifically baby reveal. We don't know about the making of the baby if any wildfires were started.
We can't confirm.
Cannot confirm.
But Eddie sold this match earlier in the card so freaking well. Because at first it just looks like an amalgamation of guys versus Eddie's family. But he did this promo. He's like, I have bones to pick with each and every single one of you. Lance, you've been a pain in my ass since the Battle Royal. Ray, I never wanted you as part of my family. I wanted your brother, and you got in the way of that, so I'm going to kick your ass. And then he did a promo on John. And it's like, he sold this match to me in 60 seconds flat, and I was stoked. So they have a match. It was a good match. Ends up being one-on-one in the ring. Everybody else kind of got chased away. Moxley hits his finisher on Kingston and gets the 3 count. And at this point, out come Gallows and Anderson, who start, beating down Mox. And then Kenny comes out and does something that I am super excited for the next pay-per-view for. I literally told everyone at work, and all of them looked at me like I was insane. I told my girlfriend, well, she watched, and she said that this match sounds illegal because they're doing an exploding barbed wire death match.
Yes.
It's popcorn bullshit, and I love it.
And if you want,
know it's going to be good.
And if you want to see us talk about another barbed wire exploding death match, you can watch the Great Muta versus the fuck his name. There's an episode we did. It's on our channel. You can check it out on YouTube.
Is it Onita?
Onita, the Great Onita. The Great Muta versus Atsushi Onita. Once again, you can check that out on our channel. We already talked about a match like that, and there's going to be another one on Revolution.
And we'll talk about that too.
Hell yeah.
Because we'll live stream that shit. No, but I'm super that match, it's got Kenny Omega in it. So it's going to be a little hokey. But in the good wrestling way.
Yeah.
And it's got Mox in it. So the hardcore spots are going to land too. So it's got everything that I think makes barbed wire death matches great, which is the right amount of hokey and the right amount of actually hardcore.
What are the odds? Okay, so what are the odds there's actually going to be blood in this one? Because in the match that we watched, 100. There was no blood.
100. John Moxley is not going to be in a fucking barbed wire match where he doesn't bleed.
Yeah, that's true.
John Moxley, I bet, will tank the whole shit. No, I'm bleeding. I don't care.
Like, I'm
We
bleeding.
need to.
I want to bleed. Did you see that after that was announced, Renee like put out on Twitter, she just did the Bubbles meme where he's just like, or the Bubbles like gif where he's just like,
yeah, I saw that. That's great.
yeah.
And she had to have known.
Yeah.
But I still don't know how much I would like my significant other, even though I know it's a work. If Kim came home and she's like, I'm going to be in an exploding barbed wire death match, I'd be like, you are?
Can I watch?
Yeah. Can I cheer? Are you the heel? Do I cheer for the other person? Do I cheer for you? How does this work?
How's this working out? When do you get paid? Do I get paid?
How much do you get paid? You better get a good payday. No, but I'm super stoked. They have done such a good job of filling out the next pay-per-view. Because we're still a few weeks out. And it's like next week is the go-home, right?
I believe so. No.
No.
2 weeks. 2 weeks.
2 weeks to be. So they're 2 weeks out. They have 2 more things, and they already have 6 matches announced. I don't know, from what I'm used to, that's pretty goddamn good.
Yep.
So, and they announced a ladder match for the winner gets a future AEW TNT Championship match.
Okay. Who's in the match? Did they announce that, or just that there's going to be a match?
They've announced the first 3 participants. You have Cody, Scorpio Sky, and Penta El Zero Miedo.
Okay.
So, other than that, they are literally, according to Wikipedia, they are calling the Matt Hardy Adam Page match the Big Money match.
For Big Money Matt.
Oh, that's great. But yeah, 3 of the announced matches so far, 4, if you include the ladder match, have a gimmick.
Well, there you go.
And that's going to make the pay-per-view go so well when you have different things happening, and I'm looking forward to this.
Yep. So, now that we've done that, and...
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
I forgot a thing. Sting took a power bomb.
Yeah,
now I'm done.
I watched that spot, and part of me wanted to be like, I feel like that's Sting testing out whether or not he can take a bump. Like, obviously, he's probably gone through bump tests to make sure that he can, physically he's capable of doing it. But he's probably not done a test where he's in, like, an in-ring situation where there's, like, it's part of a segment.
Like Brian Cage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So he's probably testing out whether or not he could actually do that, so that next time he actually has a match where he's in a situation where he might have to take a bump, he can actually do something.
Which you have to think he's going to take at least a couple bumps in the street fight.
Yeah.
There's no way he can get through a street fight without... Now, it's going to be a pre-tape, obviously.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
Sting could not do a street fight that wasn't a pre-tape at this point.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
Coming in right at the end, Elijah in the chat said Bront being bald is a gimmick.
Yeah, kinda.
I mean, it's a gimmick, but it is real.
You're a drunk, drinking whole bottles of wine with supper. I'm just kind of jealous I couldn't join you.
Yeah. Oh, okay. So now that we've, if you're like paying attention, this is the final match for February that we've done. We brought it up a couple times. So we talked about this a little bit on Tuesday, but really going into this, have you thought a little bit more about like what your retrospective on this type of thing is? My kind of thinking about it is looking back at least at the matches that we did. The women's division tends to be stacked, but it's all the same people.
Yeah.
Because we did 3 matches with Charlotte, 3 matches with Sasha, 2 with Asuka,
and that was me trying to switch it up.
Right. So like even though the women's division is stacked in one way, there's a lot more ways that they could go with it. But the top of the card, some of the better matches, they're all the same people.
Yeah. Which, I mean, to a degree it makes sense, but there should be more, like, good gym matches with as good as their roster is. They just don't give them time to go.
Right.
Like, you have to give, I don't know, Bianca Belair and somebody else 15 minutes on SmackDown. Let them have a classic. Don't give them anything. Don't give them anything. Go out there and have a good match.
Just let it be an exhibition.
Yeah. Like, never mind. I'm not going to get into it because I feel like I bitch about WWE booking too much, and I don't want that to become a gimmick. But
anyway,
it doesn't make a lot of sense to me.
So looking back on this month, do you think that did you have fun watching these matches? Like looking through and going back and watching a lot of this stuff?
Oh yeah, a lot of this, since it was more recent, because the women's push is fairly recent.
Right.
I have memories of, and it's as compared to when we're doing stuff from the 90s and the 80s, and even some of the early aughts when I wasn't watching. Like, it's kind of cool to see this stuff.
Right. The only match that I had any sort of issue with was the Charlotte Sasha match, because it just drug on way too fucking long.
That was slower than I remember it being by a lot.
So it's not all great, but it is like a huge step forward for women's wrestling. It's just in general all the way across the board.
Let's go put any women's match on. That's what we should have done. The first match should have been like a shitty 2001 women's match. Just to be like this is where we were, and this is where we are now.
Should have done like Tori Wilson versus Stacy Keibler, and then ended with Sasha Bailey Hell in a Cell. Anyway, but with the benefit of hindsight, we can see how we could have done it now, but that's not how we did it. And you can watch all the stuff that we did do on YouTube.
Yeah.
Check out that YouTube channel. Got to pimp that out. But yeah, I thought that it's a good way to again experience stuff that really is kind of undersold amongst the broader wrestling fan base. At least I think anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
So what are we going to start doing next week?
Well, next week we don't have a theme.
No, but like we don't have a theme anymore, so we're just going to be doing matches. So what's the
old-fashioned way? So I wanted to get. I figured we did a lot of recency lately. Okay. So let's do something not recent but still great. Savage Steamboat.
Okay, I'm down for that.
Should be a good one.
Yes, that was Mania 3, correct?
I believe so. Sometime in that range.
Let me Google it.
Do you want to do you want to announce the next trilogy?
Go for it.
It's the Sean Taker trilogy.
Ooh, buddy. What's that one start with?
Let me find it. Hold on. I wish I knew where this was at in my book.
Yeah, because you've gone through 2 books of notes. Well, while you're looking for that, I'm going to go ahead and go into the outro, because I feel like it's... While we're waiting, we can get to that in the end. So
you might have to buy me time.
All right.
I found it.
You found it?
Yeah. This one is from WrestleMania. I didn't write down which one, but the one in Houston, 2009.
Okay, so we're doing Sean Taker, 25, 26, and then are we going to be doing? I figured the last one would be one of the Triple H matches. I'm holding.
How the fuck?
I was gonna say, because that it doesn't really make a trilogy, but we could make it like
So what I did is I wrote this down weird.
Okay.
But essentially it's gonna be Sean Taker 1, which I'm pretty sure is the one you said, and then Sean Taker 2, and then we're going to Triple H Taker will be the third one.
Which one? End of an Era?
The Hell in a Cell.
Yeah, that's End of an Era. Okay.
Yeah.
So that'll be good. I'll be happy to see that, because I remember watching Taker Triple H Hell in a Cell. I watched it a little while ago, and that was a great fucking match.
Yeah, I actually haven't seen it in a long time.
Yeah, it's been a little bit, but I remember it being great. So yeah, thank you everybody for coming out and checking us out tonight. Thank you everybody for all the support that you gave us through the month of February, through February. We greatly appreciate all that stuff. If you haven't already, go ahead and check us out in the description down below at the Facebook, the YouTube, the Twitter, all the places that we are at. That is all down there. If you don't feel like looking at our beautiful faces, go ahead and check us out on the audio-only podcast over on Spotify or Anchor, or all the places that we're at. Again, that is down in the description down below. We will be back. Oh.
What?
Somebody in the chat says, is Hungry Hungry Hippo a sport? Because that's all you two can play. Thanks, guy. You're getting blocked.
I wonder if...
I can't do it from here. Anyway, we're ending the show. Yeah, somebody had a bad day. Anyway, we will see you next week for Savage Steamboat from WrestleMania 3. Thank you so much for coming out tonight. We will see you then. Bye-bye.